A regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District will be held Monday, October 23rd, 2017, beginning at 5 p.m. in the Boardroom Administration Building of the McAllen Independent School District at 2000 North 23rd Street, McAllen, Texas. At this meeting, there may be discussion and action by the board on items and subjects listed as followed. Items listed on this agenda may be taken in order other than shown on this agenda. The regular business portion of the meeting for the public, beginning with agenda item number 3, will begin at approximately 6 p.m. So, item number 2, recess to closed session. The Board of Trustees may go into closed session pursuant to section 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074, and the Texas Government Code to discuss the following: A, Human Resource Recommendations for the school year 2017-2018. B, Human Resources Employee Resignations for school year 2017-2018. C, Pending and or potential litigation. And D, Possible real estate acquisition. So at 5:02, we are in closed session. We'd like to welcome our audience members in the meeting room today, as well as those watching over their computers or mobile devices. It is now 6 p.m. and we are reconvening the 5 o'clock regular board meeting in open session. For the record, no action was taken by the board in closed session. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will ask Trustee Danielle Vela to lead us in our invocation.
Everyone would please stand. Thank you. Lord God, creator of all, remind us now of your guiding presence. Open our minds to the ideas and opportunities before us, and fill our hearts with compassion and generosity for each other. We pray this day for the well-being and success of our children, our colleagues, our family, and our community. Open our mind to the task at hand. Open our ears to each other, and open your hearts to your will. Bless each of us and grant us wisdom as we work to make decisions that will affect our children today and in the years to come. Be with us and lead us throughout this day. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. Suarez, did you have a motion you wanted to make? No, not yet. Okay. Then we will proceed with item 6A, recognition of our National Merit Scholar semifinalists and National Hispanic Scholars. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The National Merit Scholarship Program is an academic competition for recognition and scholarships. Hispanic students are recognized by the National Hispanic Scholar Program through the College Board. At this time, Dr. Ibarra and Mrs. Nitch will share additional information on this program and introduce our students.
Today, we are very proud to showcase some of our scholars. I'd like to first give you some background information. The PSAT National Merit Scholarship Program is a prestigious academic competition for recognition and scholarship. This occurs when students take the PSAT during a student's junior year in high school. To be named a semifinalist, a student must be among the highest scoring entrants in Texas and represents less than 1% of the highest scoring participants. To receive the National Merit Scholar recognition, the semifinalist is considered to have an outstanding academic record, take additional SAT exams, exemplify leadership and service, participate in the most rigorous curriculum available, submit letters of recommendations, and write a personal essay. Scholarships are awarded in April by the National Merit Scholarship Program, as well as various colleges and universities. Oftentimes, students are eligible for full ride scholarships. Tonight, from McAllen High School, we present National Merit semifinalist Garrett Garsoni, class of 2018. Tonight, we also bring you the National Hispanic Recognition Program Scholars. This program is initiated by the College Board to identify outstanding Hispanic high school students and to share information about these academically well-prepared students with colleges and universities. These students are among the top 5,000 Hispanics in the nation, as indicated by their scores on the PSAT and their grade point average. The recognition is an honor that students can include on their application and can lead to scholarships and recognition as an academically exceptional Hispanic student. To be eligible for the recognition, students must submit that they are at least 25% Hispanic at the time they take their PSAT and score in the top 95 percentile or better on their exams. An invitation is sent out in August, and students and counselors complete an application and return it to the College Board for selection. From McAllen High School, this year's 2017-2018 National Hispanic Scholars are Maya Chamberlain, Elizabeth Garza, J.C. Hasenfluck, Yesenia Hirschberg, from Memorial High School, Devin Alvarado, Alfonso Arredondo Blanco, Pablo Magana Gloria, Emily Whitworth, from Rowe High School, Sabrina Alvarez. I would also like to invite Mr. Albert Canales, principal from McAllen High School. Mr. Pedro Alvarez, principal at Memorial High School. Ms. Monica Kaufman, principal at Rowe High School. Ms. Karen Nitch, director of Advanced Academics. Congratulations to all of you parents. Can you please also stand to be recognized for the sacrifice and support that you have provided to your son and daughter as they strive for these academic honors.
Yeah, perfect. And then board members, can we just have you in the back? Excellent. You guys done this before? All right, ready? Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
Mom and Dad. Aunts and uncles, grandmothers and grandparents. You good, everybody? Good luck, guys. Congratulations. Continuing with our agenda, item 6B has been pulled at the request of administration. So item 6C, recognition of the South Texas Literacy Coalition Excellence in Schools and Academic Leadership Awards. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Tonight it gives me great pleasure to recognize 2 district librarians for receiving the South Texas Literacy Coalition Award. Dr. Ibarra will share more information about this award and introduce our librarians. Dr. Ibarra?
Yes, thank you. In 2009, the South Texas Literacy Excellence Award was created to recognize and honor a librarian who has demonstrated excellence, passion, and dedication in support of literacy by exhibiting creativity and originality in the promotion of reading, writing, and communication skills with the clientele whom they serve. The award will recognize one librarian in each of these three categories: school librarian, public librarian, and academic librarian. The nominee must be a librarian who has performed one or more of the following services in support of literacy: programming, advocacy, outreach, public awareness, creative use of technology, or education. Fellow librarians or educators recommend librarians. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mary Ann Lacey. Ms. Lacey was recommended and selected for the South Texas Literacy Coalition Excellence in School Librarianship. Ms. Lacey has been an educator for 30 years and a librarian for 20 years. She has served at different schools in McAllen, Bonham, Castañeda, and Navarro Elementary, as well as serving in La Jolla ISD. Next, I'd like to recognize Ms. Brenda Houston. Ms. Houston was recommended and selected for the South Texas Literacy Coalition Excellence in Academic Librarianship. Ms. Houston has been an educator librarian for McAllen ISD for 37 years. She served as librarian at Navarro, Milam, Open Nicky Rowe, and now serves as coordinator for library services. Congratulations, ladies.
Very good. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Parents and friends?
Next up, item 6D, recognition of the dyslexia program. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Dyslexia Awareness Month brings awareness to the challenges of living with dyslexia. It is important to understand the struggle that dyslexic students face daily to read and write. At this time, we recognize the hard work of our dyslexia teachers for providing support to our dyslexic students. Dr. Ibarra will introduce the staff.
Yes, this evening it gives me great pleasure to recognize some of our dyslexia teachers that provide support to our dyslexic students. We'll begin with Angela Gonzalez from Houston Elementary. Marisela Perez from Milam Elementary. Iris Ramos from Seguin Elementary. Sonia Rodriguez from Escandon Elementary. Yolanda Gonzalez from Lincoln Middle School. Juan Antonio Garcia from Hendricks Elementary. Zulma Romero from McAuliffe Elementary. Cristina Castillo from De Leon Middle School. Elizabeth Abrams from Garza Elementary. Norma Gonzalez from Castañeda Elementary. And Ms. Raquel Martinez, Coordinator of Interdisciplinary Content, K-12 and Dyslexia. I'd like to share just a few words about our dyslexia program. Our teachers are highly trained to deliver direct, intensive instruction to our dyslexic students. At the elementary level, we use a program called the Herman Method for our English-speaking students and Esperanza for our Spanish-speaking students. Both programs incorporate the latest reading research into its multisensory approach to teaching reading in small groups. For our secondary students, we use a blended learning model called Language Live to provide a comprehensive literacy solution that combines foundational and advanced learning skills with digital and teacher-led intervention to significantly improve reading and writing skills in our dyslexic students. Again, teachers, we thank you for your commitment and dedication to our students.
All right, big smiles, everyone. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Moving on to item 6E, recognition of Bill Littleton, Memorial High School football coach. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Tonight we're here to recognize a coach who has had many accomplishments in his 15 years at Memorial High School. Dr. Barrera and Coach Gonzalez will present the recognition to our great coach, Coach Bill Littleton.
Good evening. Tonight we are here to celebrate and recognize Coach Bill Littleton for his 100 football wins and accomplishments in his 15 years at Memorial High School. Coach has been a member of the Texas High School Coaches Association for 42 years. He recently served as the director for the Texas High School Association for Region 7. He has been a member of the Rio Grande Valley Coaches Association for the 15 years, serving on the board of directors for 7 years, and serving as president from 2010 to 2011. Coach Littleton has been named Coach of the Year for District 36A in 2006, 2008, 2011, 2014, 15, and 16. He has also been inducted into the Hall of Honor for the City of Palms Clinic in January 2016. He has recently been nominated for the second time by Region 7 for the Tom Landry Award. The winner will be announced this March.
His head football championships include 5 district championships, 6 by-district championships, and 3 area championships. His football teams have been in the playoffs 28 out of the 40 years, 14 out of the 19 as a head football coach. His record at Memorial High School is currently 104-63, and his career record of 132-79. The 104 wins at Memorial High School marks the most wins for a head coach in McAllen Independent School District history. Other McAllen records include 6 seasons of 9+ wins, 3 seasons of double-digit wins, and 3 seasons of 13 wins. Most recently, the McAllen Memorial High School Athletic Program was awarded the 6A Program of the Year at All Valley Sports Banquet this past year.
As stated by Coach Littleton, my most memorable moments in coaching have been the football UIL state appearances in 1993 and 1998. It has been very rewarding watching my coaching staff and I take Memorial High School from a program that had only 1 playoff appearance in the first 22 years of the school's history to a program that has become a perennial power in Valley football, making the playoffs 10 out of the last 12 years. Most importantly, I have greatly enjoyed watching young boys turn to young men while teaching them life lessons that take them from the football field to the field of life. Congratulations once again to Coach Littleton for reaching the milestone of 100 football wins at Memorial High School. Best of luck to Coach, his coaching staff, and team as they continue the 2017 football season.
Never has been about Coach Littleton. It's been about every kid and every coach that ever walked through these doors that had made this program what it is today. And that particular night, we was wanting to beat Wesco East, get this program to 2-0 and off to a great start. You know, 100 win was nice. Only thing 100 win means that you've been at a place for a long time. That's one thing about winning 100 wins. You got to stay somewhere a long time to win 100 ball games. And we've been fortunate enough. Administration been very supportive for me. The principals I had here. Board of Education, Superintendent's been very supportive and helped this program grow by leaps and bounds, and that's what makes me most proud, is the way the program has grown and the young men that we produce. And hopefully when young men walk out of these doors, we've made better people out of them.
Also, I'd like to Before you leave, Coach, before you skip out, Coach, I'd like to introduce your wife, Mrs. Littleton. Coach Littleton. Also, Mr. Alvarez, our principal at Memorial High School. Please come on up. We also have Mrs. McKinney, the Booster Club president. Please come on up.
Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda will have action required. Item 6F, the approval of the proclamation regarding Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 31st of 2017. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Tonight we bring a proclamation recognizing Red Ribbon Week as October 23rd through the 31st, 2017. Dr. Barrera and Nurse Adalia Del Bosque will present the proclamation.
As soon as I get a motion from a board member to approve it. I have a motion by Trustee Suarez and a second by Trustee Saldivar. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-6-0.
Trustee Daniel Vela will read the proclamation for us.
But before we get started, I'd like to introduce our special guests that we have with us tonight. I'd like to start with our students attending this evening from Ben Milam Elementary. We have Ms. Naomi Oliveira. There you go. Josh Garcia, Camila Garcia, and Sofia Quintanilla. I'd also like to introduce our counselor, Mrs. Melinda Villegas, Mrs. Naelia Oliveira, and Mrs. Perla Garcia. Also have with us Mr. John Montemayor, we're the Chief of Police, representing the Chief of Police. And we also have Dr. Rosalba de Hoyos, Director for Guidance and Counseling, and we have also our nurse Adalia Del Bosque, who's our Director for Health Services and Wellness. And
Blew that already.
Yeah, they can stay on the first one. Yeah, they're with you. That's perfect. Yeah. If we could get you guys a little bit more to the middle, a little bit more. Perfect. Boom. There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. Big smiles, everyone. There you go. Ready?
Wait.
Yeah. And you need to.
Sorry.
Trustee Vela, please step in the photo.
Very good. All right, big smiles, everyone. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
Everybody can stay
Thank
there
you.
so that the proclamation can be read.
Thank you all for being here today for such a worthy cause. Proclamation, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, McAllen Independent School District. Whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign offers citizens the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to drug-free lifestyles, which includes no use of illegal drugs or abuse of legal substances. And whereas youth and adults will demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing and displaying red ribbons during this campaign. And whereas the community of the McAllen Independent School District further commits its resources to ensure the success of the Red Ribbon Campaign, now therefore I, Daniel D. Vela, a member of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District, do hereby proclaim the week of October 23rd through 31, 2017 as Red Ribbon Week. I call upon all citizens and residents to join the dedicated individuals who promote safe and drug-free activities that support the health and well-being of our children in hope of achieving a more healthy, drug-free future for our children. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and have caused the seal of the McAllen Independent School District to be affixed on this 23rd day of October, 2017, attested to by Debbie Crane Aliceda, Secretary of the Board of Trustees. Thank you all.
Great job, guys. Great job. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. John. Is that different? I want one of these two.
Our next item on the agenda is item 6G, recognition of the McAllen Independent School District and campuses for the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Tonight, the American Cancer Society Relay for Life is recognizing McAllen ISD for hosting and bringing the school community together. Dr. Barrera, Mrs. Del Bosque, and the American Cancer Society representatives are here to present us with a recognition. Dr. Barrera.
Yes, sir, and good evening, everybody. And we're going to start with Miss April Chapa. She's the Senior Community Development Manager for the American Cancer Society. And she's got a... Next we have Miss Adalia Del Bosque. She's our Director for Health Services. She's here. And I'd like to also begin with the first, second, and third place, the top fundraising campuses that for this event. In first place, we have Jose del Escandon Elementary, and we have Miss Tiffany Pettis and Miss Ida Peña. Next, we have in second place, from Lucille McKee Hendricks Elementary, and we have Miss Sandra Salinas, the principal, and we have Monica Garza, also an assistant principal, with us today. Third place this evening goes to James Nicky Rowe High School. We have Miss Monica Kaufman, Miss Sally Valle, Miss Norma Montemayor, and Miss Elizabeth De Leon. Please come on down. The community sure did come together, for more than 1,000 people participated in the annual American Cancer Relay for Life event held on Saturday, May the 20th at the McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium. A grand total of $21,642 was raised by multiple groups from students, teachers, administrators across the district. Money raised through the Relay for Life event will help the American Cancer Society's mission to save lives and celebrate life each day. Donations are used to fund life-saving cancer research, patient support programs, prevention information, education, detection, and treatment. The top three fundraising school, again, were Jose de Leon Escandon with $4,217. Lucille McKee Hendricks Elementary with $3,113. And James Nicky Rowe High School with $2,540. Congratulations to all.
And I have just the McAllen ISD presenting sponsor award. I'd like to present Dr. Benoit. Thank you all so much.
Good job, y'all. Good job. Congratulations.
Stand up for the
Thank you, Mr. Trevino, for all of your help.
That was it? Point and shoot. Thank you guys for your hard work.
Thank you.
Good job. I didn't hear the That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will recess our 5 o'clock meeting to open our 6:15 public comments. So at 6:30, we will recess our 5 o'clock meeting, and we will rejoin our 5 p.m. meeting on item,
Mr. President,
yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to reorg.
You'd like to make a motion to reorg? Yes, sir. Trustee Suarez.
I'd like to reorganize to go to item 9C2, approval of monetary donation from Homer J. Morris PTO to Homer J. Morris Middle School.
We have a motion to reorganize the agenda, bringing forth item 9C2, approval of monetary donation from Homer J. Morris PTO to Homer J. Morris Middle School.
Second.
We have a second by Trustee Suarez. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Saldivar.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Suarez. The motion by Mr. Suarez, the second by Trustee Saldivar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes carry it 4-0. So now we will bring forth the approval of monetary donation from Homer J. Morris PTO to Homer J. Morris Middle School. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The Homer J. Morris PTO has raised funds for a new canopy that will be located at the entrance of the campus. This evening, we're requesting approval of the donation. Dr. Beretta has more details, and we will be asking for action on this item. Dr. Beretta?
Yes, sir. In accordance with policy CDC local, the board may accept a gift on behalf of the district. All the gifts to be given to the district at the discretion of the superintendent, and the gifts may be used for a specific program. In this case, the Homer J. Morris PTO has raised funds in the amount of $17,900 to apply towards the cost and installation of 2 canopies. The combined cost for the 2 canopies is a little over $26,000. The campus funds will be used to cover the remaining balance of about $9,000. Facility maintenance and operations will oversee the project. The contractor for the project has agreed to comply with all district construction specifications and the requirements. A schematic design of the projects is attached on your items here, and I also have one here to show you.
Dr. Barrera, what was the amount of the donation again?
The amount of the donation is $17,900. I have also the principal and the PTO president are with us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, the item sits before you.
So moved.
We have a motion by Trustee Vella and a second by Trustee Saldivar. Any comments, questions?
Just thank you to the PTO.
I was gonna say, we have the president here, Michelle Gowdy.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions? None being heard, all in favor of approving the monetary donation from Homer J. Morris PTO to Homer J. Morris Middle School, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it, 6-0. Congratulations, and thank you to the Homer J. Morris PTO.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll now continue with our regular board agenda. Item 7A, Board Committee Reports, the Instructional Services Briefing. Chair Conrado Alvarado has not arrived, and I believe our second is Trustee Debbie Crane Aliceda.
Yes, I met with Ms. Ibarra on Thursday, and there's a few things coming up on the agenda, and when we get to it, I'll elaborate a little bit more.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7A2, Business Operations Briefing. Trustee Esparza.
Mr. Vela and myself met, thinking, get the committees, I always get the committees confused, I was thinking of Marco.
I'm next, brother.
Yeah. Mr. Vela and I met with Mrs. Garcia this morning to discuss some of the items that are on the agenda tonight. One of them has to do with the district investments, which are doing well, financial investments, and the other one has to do with, I forgot the last item.
The transfer of fund balance for Hill
Transfer
projects.
fund balance, the resolution, right. We'll be discussing later in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Esparza. Item 7A3, District Operations Briefing. The Chair is Trustee Marcos Suarez.
Mr. Esparza and I met with Dr. Barrera, discussed a couple of things. There are 4 items on the agenda, one of which will be a report from facilities. The other was the one from Morris Middle School. We have some actionable items to talk about, one of which is approving the letter A plus to be color gold, and 2 other items. And we'll talk about it more in detail when we get to it.
Thank you, Trustee Suarez. Item 7A4, Human Resources Briefing. The Chair is Trustee Debbie Crane Aliceda.
Yes, met with Mr. Miller, and I'll elaborate more when we get to that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to item 7B1, the report on pilot private choir lesson program at Fossa Middle School, Morris Middle School, and McAllen High School. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Beginning in September of 2017, 1 high school and 2 middle schools are offering a parent-pay private lesson program to help the choir students achieve at a higher level musically. Dr. Ibarra and Mr. Egger will provide more information on this pilot program, and the item is for information only.
Thank you. Yes, this evening I would like to share a report regarding the pilot private choir lesson program that we are offering at 3 secondary schools. I'd like to first start by giving you some background information. In many successful school districts around the states, they utilize a private lesson program, also called a parent-paid music enrichment program, and they have done so for many years. What this entails is that a music teacher will come to the campus and give one-to-one instruction to a student. This instruction is at a very high level and goes far beyond what can be covered in a class or a small group lesson. And students are also given extra assignments and held to very high standards. The most common setting for this lesson is during the school day, usually once a week for half of the student's music class period. The student is still involved in 90% of the class time during the week of the lesson. In addition, the parents pay the lesson teacher for the music enrichment directly. And these are some of the districts that are offering a music enrichment program. We are the first district, to our knowledge, we are the first district in the Valley that's implementing this program as a pilot program. Currently, we have it at 3 schools, Morris, Fossum, and McAllen High School. And here you have the numbers. There are 8 students from Morris Middle School, 6 students from Fossum Middle School, and 3 students from McAllen High School that are currently participating in this pilot program. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Egger, and he'll share additional information.
Welcome all.
Welcome, Mr. 111.
That's right. All right, this program has several advantages. We feel like it's a great advantage for the parents, for the students who are taking the lessons, but also the students who aren't taking the lessons. For parents, it's a big savings of time. It's a big savings of hassle. Scheduling is much easier. And most importantly also is that our fine arts teachers in McAllen ISD make sure that only the finest people are working with our students. So, we make sure that the very best people are available. For the students taking the lessons, it gives them individualized and customized music lessons, possibility to grow musically much quicker, success at UIL, TMEA, and other events. For students who are looking at making music a career, it's a very big help for them as well. And it's also important where the kids learn responsibility, the preparing for a lesson, being prepared. Back when I was in high school, I took lessons, and I used to have to drive far away and take them. And one time I wasn't prepared, and the guy said, "Give me your money and never come back again unprepared," and I never did. And I made All-State Band the next 2 years. So it teaches the kids responsibility. Going back to the parents, this is happening. There's already parents who are doing this. And we're just trying to make it more accessible to several more kids. For a lot of the parents, having to run around and take the kids to lessons outside of school at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, bringing it to them can be a big help for them. The students who are not taking the lessons, the big thing for them is then the choir teachers at that school, such as Fossum has 2 choir people. They don't have to worry about the kids who are already taking lessons. so they can concentrate, instead of having 30 kids who are trying out for region choir, there's 6 less. So they can spend more of their time concentrating on those. And also, as the students get stronger and stronger, then the program becomes stronger. And there's also a lot of where students get these great ideas and then share it with their peers. Because everybody wants the choir program, band program, orchestra program to be as strong as possible. Another big advantage for us is we really want to have TMEA, which is the Texas Music Educators Association, every year picks out an honor choir, a couple of them throughout the state. And we would like for our choirs to be represented at a state level. It's been since 1992 since any McAllen choir has been chosen to sing. So we're trying to find ways to help our students succeed at a higher level, making our choirs succeed. So that's a big goal of several of our choir programs, to be able to perform at the convention, which is a really big deal. We also feel like there's some financial advantages because we're not using any school funds for this. This is all, parents are paying for it, and so we're leveraging what the parents are doing already, and maybe can leverage more parents to get involved with that. So we feel like it's a win financially. Presently, a couple school districts around us, such as Edinburgh, do have some private lessons coming in, which are paid for by the school district, but their budget is more than ours. And I have noticed that a lot of those kids who aren't having to pay for it don't take it as serious. So I think it's a big win financially. Now, as far as the pilot program now, as mentioned earlier, it's at Fossum, Morris, and Mac High. Those were the schools that came to me wanting to try to start this. So we thought, well, let's try it as a pilot with just a small number of schools, mainly just to see if there is a need out there. And if there's not a need, then why have it district-wide? Also, it's easier to work out all the different details with a smaller group. And if it doesn't work out, then it's easier to not have it keep going as opposed to having it everywhere. And a couple other important things is that the private music lesson teacher pays a $50 usage fee. Lessons last about 25 minutes, and most of these occur during the student's music class. And again, that's a win for the student because many of these students are heavily involved after school with athletics and with chess club and gym and all this stuff. So it's helpful. The amounts are $20 for a certified teacher, $14 for non-certified teachers. Presently, we have only 2 certified teachers doing it, so the amount is $20. And these fees are paid directly to the music teacher, the private music teacher, and so the school district doesn't have to worry about anything, so it's easy. We also make sure that the private music teacher works closely with the campus music teacher to make sure that the student is progressing at the highest level possible. And the campus teacher is always there. Before we started this program, the music teacher is vetted by our teachers. There's an 11-page checklist which has a lot of documentation to it, which is turned in. The director of HR approves it, and then once that's approved, we started it. These teachers met with the students, showed them what it's about, and then once the agreement was made, then lessons started. Now, this is phase 1. Phase 2, if it works out for us, we will make all the needed adjustments. Maybe expand it to other choir programs, maybe in other music programs. We also want to have some sort of scholarship program for the kids who can't afford it. So if there's a kid who's really, really talented, who should qualify for lessons, we will find a way to help to fund their lessons. And I will tell you that several parents have told me that they've been real impressed with just the amount that the kids have improved. There's actually some of the choir teachers here who've told me that it's just the level of confidence that the kids have gotten has been really, really outstanding. So that's the report. Are there any questions?
We'll open it up to the board for questions at this time.
I have a couple of questions.
Trustee Esparza.
Comments, questions. And I spoke to you about this a
Right.
couple of weeks ago, Mr. Eggert. And the reason I brought it up was because some parents had called me concerns about it. I think they have children at one of the campuses, I can't remember which one. But the concern they had was the idea of using instructional time and where kids are having to pay for it. To me, it amounts to tuition, charging tuition for kids to get what essentially is free education, public education. We appear to be replacing free public time with putting a cost on that for these kids, so it appears to be tuition. I wouldn't have a problem if this was done after school, before school, Saturday, at a separate time. It just seems, and it made sense to me that, yes, they're supposed to have an instructional time with the teacher during a certain time, and they're having to pay for it. Now, if the district was paying for it, I think that would be something different, like in what you said they do in Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But here I know we're not forcing, it's all voluntary, but to me, it amounts to charging tuition for an instructional time. And they also had some concerns about, and in their particular case, it was their child who I think went once or twice, and then the parents said, hey, we can't afford this anymore. And the morale of the child, and well, my friends get to go, and how come they can go, and and to having to tell your child, well, I can't afford it anymore. So that was an issue with them also. And it also, as I thought about it, it just seems, again, do we do this with other subjects? Do we allow a retired or a private math teacher to come in and teach math during the math period, or the science teacher during the science period? And if the kids want to go, they pay for that. I don't think we do anything like that. I don't know if it's even legal to do anything like that. I know that you said Steve had approved some documentation, but I didn't see anywhere in that documentation that said we were going to do it during the school day. It just said these are some guidelines, and it said it had the blessing of our school attorney, but I didn't see anything in that documentation that said kids would be taken out of their instructional class to do it. And as far as these other districts that are doing it, I don't know what they're doing up there. You say that all these other districts are doing, but it doesn't tell me what they're doing up there. Did anybody look into this to see if it's legal to charge these kids to get away from their instructional time?
In our conversations that we had, we thought it'd benefit the music program. I know the concern I had when we first discussed it was the kids that couldn't afford it, and I know that we were gonna try to find a way to pay for them. Ran it by Mr. Crane. I know that you were involved in the conversation, and then looking at it, we didn't get any feedback with regard to it being, I guess, unacceptable to do. So, again, it was a pilot program that we felt would benefit the music program. We've piloted the program. We've got some positive feedback, and these are the first concerns that we've heard about it. So we're here to discuss them.
Right. And several school districts outside of the valley do this, and have been doing it for years, and they're very credible. Actually, I was talking to Karen Hadeda, who was the fine arts director before me, and she's up in Killeen. And Killeen was the only school district in their region that didn't do this. And so she got it started because there was no way for her students and choirs and bands to really compete. I'd say that more than half of the large school districts do it. It's been going on a long time. I know Mr. Shira used to teach up in Frisco and where else?
Louisville ISD and at Richardson ISD.
I'm going to ask Bo Shire to step up to the mic, please, just so that we can.
Okay.
I guess my
Make sure.
question remains the same. Is it legal?
Yeah, it's legal, because all these other school districts.
It doesn't make it legal. I don't know if that, just because they're all doing it doesn't make it legal. I mean, that argument, I don't think will hold water anywhere.
Mr. Shire, your experience took you to Louisville ISD?
Louisville ISD, Richardson ISD, Frisco ISD, Carrollton Farmers Branch ISD. And you know, I guess I can't speak specifically as to whether it is legal, but I can say in the school districts, especially in Frisco and in Richardson ISD, that, you know, they were pretty well known to keeping their T's crossed and their I's dotted. You know, anything that we had to do as far as projects went, we had to make sure we had plenty of research and plenty of information to support whatever our project was or any kind of motion we were trying to make. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that if it was illegal, it wouldn't be happening in those school districts.
But nobody ever asked that question. I mean, we still haven't heard an answer. Steve, have you looked into it?
I have looked into it, and let me just correct maybe some misconceptions. They are still in class time. They're meeting. They're not pulled out of their class. They're in a separate area of the classroom or a room next to that separate area where they can be seen by their teacher of record in that classroom. And this is just an added benefit, whether, you know, I guess you can compare it to, I know when my son was in school, in the athletics program, they would occasionally have some consultant come in, and you could pay additional, or the parents wanted to, additional money to the consultant. They were still part of the football team, they were still in the same field, but they were just private trainers that would come out. So I did not see anything after looking at the case law. There's nothing illegal about it. The only thing I stress to Mr. Egger is that we need to make sure that if we go full blast beyond a pilot program, that those who can't afford it, we need to find scholarships or something to pay for them who can also attend if they qualify.
May I interject?
Sure.
On that? In every instance, there has been some sort of scholarship or financial assistance, either through a booster club or as Mr. Egger suggested earlier, that the fee, essentially the rental fee that the private instructor would be paying could then be placed in a pool to help those that couldn't afford it. And I've never, in the years of doing this, I've never run into a child or a parent who was not able to fulfill that goal, to have their child take private music lessons because of a financial burden.
Any further questions for Mr. Shira? Trustee Eliseda.
I have a couple. I mean, I think it's a wonderful program, and I'm all for fine arts. And I think pulling children out for intervention, reading intervention, math intervention, fine arts intervention, sports, I think that's all wonderful. My problem is the equitable part, the haves and the have-nots. And so on the board level, we have to look at it thinking of all schools, all areas in the school district. And so when you have certain schools that have more affluent parents that are paying for it, and then you have other schools where you don't have booster clubs that are as involved, and you don't have the ability to have scholarships, you create a gap. And that's what we try really, really hard to maintain, that there's no gap. So if there was a way that the district could fund it, I think it's a wonderful idea. But right now with the haves and the have-nots, the equitable part, I have great concerns with. I was just doing some numbers, and I was thinking, if you have 6 periods a day, and you're doing 2 kids per period, so you're doing what? You're doing 12 kids a day, and it's $20, so it's $240 a week. So because they're going twice a week, so it's $500 for every 2 weeks. It doesn't sound like it would be very expensive. I mean, have you put the numbers? Have you put pencil to paper and figured out what kind of budget you would need from the board to see if you could do this at all the middle schools?
Part of the question is if it's just choir, it's probably doable. If it's choir, band, orchestra, mariachi, we just have to be careful with it. I think it's very possible to have money set aside for that, and if the kids qualify, I think we can make it happen.
Well, I guess what I was saying is I don't want children to have to qualify for a scholarship. I want it to be everybody. If you need tutoring, you're pulled out. We have intervention. If you need reading 180, you're pulled out. If you need math intervention, you're pulled out. So if you need choir intervention, you're pulled out. And it's not a matter of a scholarship. There's just a staff member, an MISD staff member that takes care of that. I would like to see some kind of proposal coming from you, as that. you know, and maybe give us different levels. If it was just choir, if it was choir and band, if it was choir, band, and orchestra, if it was, and see if that's something.
But then having a MISD staff member or someone from outside coming in, which way?
I mean, I don't know,
Because
I guess.
part of it was the thought of parents are already paying for this. And so let's leverage what they're doing already, make it easier for them, and maybe have other students who are very talented music-wise. But
See, to me on that part, if I had a small business and I taught music and I'm paying rent, I'm paying sales tax, quarterly sales tax, I'm contributing to McAllen, to my, you know, paying my taxes, I would be very envious of people that already had an in to the district that only had to pay $50 a year rent and didn't have any overhead, didn't have any, you know, things that they had to pay, and they had this in. So if you did do it, I would think that there would be some kind of process where people, you know, local businesses maybe could compete for this opportunity to make it transparent and make it fair, if it wasn't already personnel that you had in there. And I'm not sure exactly how we do after-school tutoring and how we do the Reading 180 and all those interventions. I guess they're paraprofessionals that come in. I'm not really sure how the mechanics of that work, but I would hope that it would be a fair and transparent and open process. But and however we can help, I mean, you know, we always want to help. You know, we always want to help the students improve and improve their fine arts, but we have to do it at a level that's equitable for everybody, that, you know, we all feel good about.
most of the districts that I talk to, and I'm real dry, so then
Oh, that's
get this
okay.
water. Most of the districts.
Yeah. 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 Yes.
Like you've had
With the
three,
water bottle.
like you've had multiple weekends of direct
Yes.
band competitions you've been working. Come on,
No,
Mr.
I mean,
Egger, for crying out
basically,
loud.
You know, we're here to help, and we want to help you, and we want to help you succeed, and we want to help your teachers succeed and your students succeed. How can we help you that is equitable to all?
Yeah, and just if I may, I think it's you know, the idea is great. I mean, we want to help the kids. We want to provide every opportunity, and I'm not against that. My concern, and again, this was brought to me by a parent. I wasn't even aware that the pilot program was in existence till a parent approached me about it, and then I spoke to you about it in a football game. And those are some of the points that were brought up. And as I thought about it, I was like, well, I hadn't thought about some of the things that Debbie was thinking about. But, you know, just so that it's fair, where everybody has an opportunity to participate. Now, and when you ask if the district could supplement, whether it be outside employees, to me, I don't think it matters as long as everybody has an opportunity to apply for it. But if the district's paying for it, then everybody has access to it. All the kids have access to it, not just those who can afford it. And as she mentioned, the campuses right now that are being utilized are probably in some of the areas where there's a little bit the capability to do that is there. So again,
Yeah, and almost all the other districts that I talk to, all of them have some sort of scholarship fund. Most of them, it's not a high percentage of the kids who are funded. And very few of them who do give funding, it is not the full amount. It's partial, so there's that buy-in. Because a lot of times when the kids are given something for free, like if it's a $20 lesson, if the scholarship kids, the district covers half, then that means that they can come up with the rest. And and if it was like full-blown where every kid in the music classes got it, then, I mean, we don't have the facility or the time or the money, you know. So I still think it's for a certain amount of those high-achieving kids.
Mr. Suarez.
I'll start off with a comment, then I'll have some questions. I have a daughter that's in choir, and I will tell you that there's no local business now that provides the service. My wife was driving my daughter to an individual's house in La Jolla, I think. So I understand the convenience part of it. And really, it's very limited. My concerns are more of, do we have enough instructors out there for all our kids that want to get into this program?
Which we don't.
So, you know, I will tell you that I applaud your effort for the pilot program. It's where do we go from here? I think that's the big question. And there are some concerns, but I will tell you that locally, we're very limited on where you could go. And I know that what's happening here is not for every kid. Every kid doesn't want to go to these private lessons. They're happy with going to their classroom, performing at their 2 or 3 concerts that they have a year, and that's it. The issue is that there's a lot of scholarships out there for these kids, and you have classroom with 60, 70 kids, and it's real hard for these instructors, for these teachers, to see the talent that every kid possesses. And if it is legal, and if we could manage a way for everybody to get an equal shot, it's a win-win for everyone. I don't think it's something that has to be fully funded. I just think that we all need to come together and find a solution. And I think there's one out there. I have some questions that I'm sure could be easily answered, but these are just questions as a parent and as a business owner and as a board member. The first is, if you do hire or you are in these private lessons, where is the money exchanged? Is it between the parent and the instructor, or is it between the kid and the instructor?
The parent and the instructor.
And this is done on campus or off campus?
Off campus, right, Leslie?
It varies.
It varies.
Not for me, because I'm working with middle school kids. The
Okay.
only time I see them is on their campus.
Okay.
But yes, it's through the parents.
And then you make contacts with the parent?
Every week, yes. Or
Okay.
almost every week.
Okay. So my next question is one of those hypothetical ones, and that is, let's say Fossum and Morris blossom. And I mean, these choir programs are awesome, and we as a board say, let's go to the 7 schools. This is something we need to do. Do we have enough people to get to our 7 schools?
I'm not sure.
We don't know.
We don't know. We're not there yet. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a concern for us, because if a parent from another campus calls us, then we have to be able to offer them the same pilot program that we're offering these 2 schools. And I'm just thinking out loud here.
Right.
Okay. My next question is, that was it. I guess you answered the kid that can't afford it. When you say that we'll find a way, is that a joint effort between the instructors? I know you gave a scenario of we can pay 10 and they can pay 10, and we're still in the early stages, but are we, let's say, 3 other instructors come and they want to go to Brown Middle School. Are they willing to decrease their price so that the kid that's going to get a scholarship or get assistance? I mean, is that going to be part of the scenario? How does all that work?
No, I don't think we're going
We're
to
not
ask
there
them to charge less for certain campuses. But, several ways you can do it is I mean, we can find some donors who are willing to do it. We can get some choir booster programs going, and I mean, they can have car washes. They can raise money to help with that. We can also look at each choir program has a budget, which is given to them. And we can say, okay, you can use up to blank amount of money out of your clinician / supply budget toward this, because it's something you believe in and thinks really benefits kids.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Vella.
Thank you. Thanks, Chairman. Mr. Riggers, congratulations. You had a great weekend. It's great for McAllen, great for our kids. And I think Mr. Suarez was reading my notes because he stole my questions. But I'll expand on one of them, and that is the availability and sustainability of the program, because there's no doubt if you do what you do, it's going to be a successful program.
Right.
And we are going to see the needle moved in the right direction in terms of competitions and the success we're having at the award level. So we will have that. Sustainability becomes a problem on availability of teachers and the availability of teachers being able to go to all our campuses. And that's something we have to be very cognizant about. And going down that same type of questioning that Mr. Suarez was asking about, we have to really start thinking of taking this beyond a pilot program and establishing ground rules, if you will, or some kind of guidelines as to if another person who's not currently helping us wants to come into the program, these are the kinds of things that they would have to adhere to.
Right.
And our parents are gonna have to know what the ground rules are going forward. So I don't know if you all wanna put together a task force or a loose-lit group of committee people that can come together and bring forward something that we can eventually move from the pilot program to a district-wide program.
Right.
I think it's important that we don't make rules up as we go
Right,
along.
so the thought was to do it for this year.
Yeah.
And then sometime middle spring, sit down with everybody involved and, you know, what are the kinks? What has to be worked out? What are the ground rules? What do we need to do to help recruit people? Who are we looking for?
Yeah, I think, yeah, you have to do a complete health exam
Right.
on this program.
Exactly.
And then what's the prognosis going forward and what's the prescription to get us there to a healthy,
Right.
sustainable living? And the other question is probably more for the district, and it's the UIL aspect of it. I know a few years back, we had a really good hurdler at one of our high schools who was having a private trainer come on to campus and teach them on school property during practices, and it was tabooed, and I'm not sure why, but we're under the same UIL program, and it's not a legal question, is it a UIL question that we can overcome? And, which brings to mind, if it is successful and it is acceptable by UIL, are we gonna take this to the track programs and the golf programs and to all of the UIL programs that we've got in our district?
You know, there's a big difference with the way music UIL works and UIL for music, for athletes. There's, the only individual UIL events is the state soloon ensemble. And at that, you're being judged based on a rubric. And if you are good enough, you get a Division I, Division II, Division III. And then the only real competition is that they pick the outstanding soloist for that day. So a judge judges kids from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock, and they pick out one kid. Pigskin this past week, the bands aren't competing against each other. They're competing against a standard. And if they meet the standard, then it's a Division I. If they don't meet the standard, it's a Division II, III, IV. Athletes, everything is about winning and about, you know, scoring higher than others. So there's really not, in the Team EA world, anything where there's the individual back-to-back thing going on, at least in music.
Just one final comment, and I'm all for the program. Anything that sets us apart from our neighboring or competing districts and moves our needle to the A+, I'm all for it. I just want to be sure that we're
doing it right.
Cross our Ts, dot our Is,
Right.
and make sure everything is running the way it should be so that we can be successful at it. And if we can expand it to other areas, shoot, why not?
So the plan was to do it for the year.
Okay.
And then sometime, probably March, sit down with them and then all the directors who are doing it and saying, first of all, is it working? And if it is working, okay, what do we need to change? And I think the next step is to have it at all 7 middle schools, probably, so it's equitable. I think it's going to be hard to do all 7 middle schools and then all 3 high schools. Maybe do it at the middle schools, and then if that works out fine, then look at expanding it to the high schools. We just added Mac High because we had an extra lesson teacher, and Mac High says, hey, let's try it. So we thought, well, let's try it middle school and high school, and then see how it works. And after y'all's comments today, I'm pretty much convinced that for next year, we probably need to keep it just at middle schools to make sure that there's enough to cover, so it is equitable.
Final comment, your analysis, I think, should include a student and a parent component of those who have been active in the pilot program.
Very good.
And thank you all to the music teachers for what you all do and the way you all work with our kids. Appreciate all your help, hard work. Thank you, Mr. Eggers.
Thank you, Trustee Vela. Any further comments, questions? Trustee Saldívar.
Thank you. In looking at the packet, it says before it begins. So, have we started the program yet?
Yes.
Okay.
That was to give a picture of what happened at the beginning before it began.
All right. And so it stated several components. Private music teachers vetted by campus choir director and DFA. Did that take place?
Yes.
All right, the next was 11-page checklist is given to the potential lesson teacher. Did that take place?
Yes, sir.
The completed checklist is notarized and turned in. Did that take place?
Yes, sir.
The next was a criminal history background check is to be done. Was that done?
Yes.
Proof of liability insurance by the instructor. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
The next was approval to be given to the director of HR. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
And a waiver was turned in and on file for the FA office. Was that done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many students are we talking about are participating in the pilot?
There's 6 at Morris, 8 at Morris, 6 at Fossum, and 3 at Mac High. It's on 17. And it's on one of the slides, I think the 3rd slide.
And I might have missed that. I apologize. And again, the advantages here is taking the component and the balance of the parents is a saving of time, much less hassle in transporting the student to a location. And I gather to make sure the
And
parents. Scheduling. And for the parents, making sure that they're in a safe environment with an individual that the district has already vetted. Is that what the
Yes, sir.
component is about? Okay. Now, how do you identify the students that will be participating? How are they selected? Because that's just to equity. It's not equal, it's equity. So how are the students identified? to make it equitable?
Is this just 7th and 8th grade or 6th grade as well? It's just 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, so in every 7th and 8th grade class, Mrs. Tanner visited all the 7th and 8th grade choirs at Morris and Fossum, gave all of them the same information, and then they took it home to their parents, and then if they wanted to do it, they did it, and then Mr. Tanner went to Mac High, and we also had him go last week to Travis, just to see if there's some interest there.
It's got to be equitable, and the 3 elements that the district has chosen to do, especially when the finance with the state of Texas on adequacy, equitable, and effective, we chose to make sure that we carried our part of that equation, which is, we believe, guaranteed to all students. So, and that's why you're hearing some of the comments that are being made, which I believe we all feel that same way. But what was the underlying reason that the district chose to move in this direction? Because we've done very, very well, and congratulations once again on my behalf as well as the rest of the board on your accomplishments. The district's accomplished, your students, the choir directors alike. I mean, that is exceptional. But when it came to choir, what brought us to this?
A lot of it is a push for, we've got one of the finest choir departments around. I mean, they're outstanding. And one of their goals, one of their dreams is to have an honor choir. And they have seen that almost every honor choir that has performed, they open up their program and there's a list of all these private teachers. So it's hard for our people to compete with that when the choir programs elsewhere in the state have 3 to 5 to 6 to 10 lesson teachers who are coming in teaching kids all the time. And I know Fossum and Rowe both have submitted the last 2 times, right? And some great recordings. And we're thinking, well, maybe this is the thing that can just push us over a little bit more. So a lot of it's that, just trying to have those dreams of being at the convention, having our kids have that opportunity.
And you listed all these school districts, and many of the ones that you mentioned a moment ago are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area.
All the ones that I mentioned.
Yes, exactly. Has anyone obtained their plan of action plan or their program?
I can get it, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Saldívar. Any further questions or comments?
I just have one thing.
Trustee Esparza.
Steve, if you could get us, I know you said you looked at some case law, something that clarifies the legality of it and that issue that Mr. Vela brought up about the UIL, make sure that it's not in violation of any UIL policy or something.
My understanding, there is not a UIL policy regarding choir, is that correct?
I don't know of one.
I'll check.
No, sir.
Is there a school district policy?
I can check, I don't believe so.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Traeger, Mr. Shara?
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next item is item 7B2, The report regarding facilities, maintenance, and operations projects, Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. This is a monthly report from the Facilities Maintenance and Operation Department. Dr. Barrera and Ruben Trevino are here to walk us through this month's projects, and this item is for information only.
Good evening, everyone. We got Mr. Trevino here at the podium to present his monthly report on facilities maintenance and operations.
Good evening. I'll be reporting on the projects for the month of October, currently ongoing. The first slide here shows the Sanchez Elementary safety fencing project that we started about 3 weeks ago. It is now complete, and we will be issuing the final completion here this week. And
Does that go up, I'm sorry, does that go all the way around the campus, Ruben?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes. It is now 100% fully fenced.
Okay.
With, we left some access gates or service entrance 20 foot wide on the north side, north fence line. And we left the walk gates for kids to walk. And we'll be striping the crosswalks that are going to be needed now. And left the rolling gates in front, swing gates.
How does the construction of the baseball fields next to it affect? Are we in any way affected by it?
No.
Okay.
The next slide is the Fossil Middle School road expansion safety fence project. We were asked to look at the safety fence component for the Ware Road expansion now that it's taking place. What you see here is a sample of a decorative type fence similar to what we did at the high schools, with a safety cabling system that goes. There's a bollard about every 60 or 70 feet on this safety type fence. This fence has already been tested to 30, 40, and 50 mile an hour driving speeds by the Department of Transportation. And we're waiting right now on documentation just to make sure that it will suffice the need that we have there on the Ware Road expansion project.
I have a question.
Trustee Saldivar.
Thank you. Is this the same fence that was put around other campuses?
The manufacturer is the same one. However, this has a safety component to it, which is the 3-rail cable system with the bollards that are fully engineered and concreted with piers.
And those lines are running horizontally?
Yes, those are cables that run through the actual poles and the fence railing.
And the pole, is it filled with concrete or is it all cast iron?
Depending on the amount of, depending on the rating that we choose, whether it's a 30, 40, or a 50, it will determine the distance between each bollard that'll be filled with concrete.
This was a concern the board had when we were looking to expand, I guess the Texas Department of Public
Yes.
Transportation was trying to expand that roadway to add more lanes. And this is addressing that concern.
This is addressing that, and the funding was set in place with the monies that were paid for the square footage that we had to let go of for the Ware Road expansion.
So the money we receive for the right-of-way from the state is being able to fund it?
Yes.
So it's not coming out of the
Correct.
general fund as it is
No,
now?
it's placed in an account as a 1P project, and those are the intentions.
So from the moment we collected those funds, we identified the amount of the project and we earmarked it and we've allocated those funds and set them aside?
Yes, the funds are there. The next step is, of course, presenting this item and then going out for proposals.
Thank you. Good.
Ruben, I'm sorry. For me. What rate of speed can that fence tolerate, like if we hit it?
There are 3 types that the manufacturer makes. The highest one is 50 mile an hour speeds, and the speed limit on that section is 50 miles of Ware Road.
Okay.
Nobody speeds.
Don't go 51.
Saying
Saying gonna
nobody
go 51 in his blue car, that car, no.
The next project is the McAllen baseball field improvements. If anyone has driven by or gone by, there's been quite a bit of movement going on back here. The sprinkler system is underway already, and as of today, we are on schedule to hopefully have sod being delivered in the next 10 to 12 days. Next slide. This is the Roosevelt Elementary classroom partition project, where we're replacing some of the old partitions on the campus and going in with solid walls. This was a request from the school, and we're about 90 to 95% complete. After that, we will be doing some modifications in the front office area. The ongoing projects on the fire alarm installs. We have currently 5 different buildings that we will be replacing the fire alarms. This is going to bring us to 12 new fire alarm systems in the last 3 years, and this will put us 2 years ahead on the replacement schedule of the replacements for fire alarms for the district. And you'll see there the Lincoln, Alvarez, Lamar administration, and HR. The next school that will be on the list is Kathy, and that would be due in 2020 for the fire alarm replacements. The next slide is the chiller replacements. We're actually gone out for quotes already on Roosevelt, Bonham, Memorial, Kathy, and Crockett. And this is also following the replacement schedule that we have as a district. And this is going to put us about 4 chillers away from their useful life on the chiller list district-wide. Ongoing projects that we have throughout the district include gas line repairs. One gas line that had to be repaired over at Rowe High School on the back area. The flush meter replacements, working with Texas Gas Service, doing them all district-wide, and also doing the irrigation repairs in the different campuses that you see that have been completed.
Mr. Trevino, Trustee Saldívar has a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Trevino, for your presentation. But going back to the previous slide, when it talks about the chiller replacements at Crockett Administration Building, or the annex, we received a report from MGT, and the board is wanting a workshop, and I'm sure that's in the works to schedule that. There was an elementary school there, and we have some concerns regarding population in the various campuses. If in these discussions, Crockett maybe the property of Crockett may be better suited for something other than the old facility in its present form, it may make sense to look at whether we're replacing chillers or on a facility that the administration may decide after those workshops, including the board, may have better use. And maybe a different structure there, instead of putting chillers on an old structure that may be raised. Not saying it will, but I mean, is it something to think about? I don't know what your timetable is on this. Is it going to be in the summer or in the?
Well, this budget line item was approved over the summer on for the new fiscal year. I've already gone out for quotes, and the plans were to order them here in the next couple of weeks, to have them here by Thanksgiving, to hopefully install some of the most crucial ones during the Christmas break. Okay. And that's a time that we can get them here the fastest and better pricing, because the factories are not as busy as they are in the summer with the chiller.
Okay.
Orders.
Yeah, and that was before we had, the full information on the MGT report when we approved the budget, so it's understandable. But given what we know now and not wanting to delay what we'd already approved, maybe I should ask this question. If we saw a need to do something different with that building, could those chillers be utilized in any other location within the district?
Yes, they could.
Okay, so they could be repurposed if we needed to do so.
The Roosevelt, the Bonham, and the Crockett chillers are 3 exact 60-ton chillers that can be used at different locations, so long as we have the same tonnage needed.
Okay, should have asked that instead. Thank you. Takes care of that.
Thank you, Trustee Saldívar. Any other questions? Mr. Trevino.
Yes, sir. Next slide. Yes. Some of the ongoing projects on the FMO construction area are door hardware adjustments that we're going through district-wide. The window repairs at Garza have been completed. Whiteboard installs at different campuses, McHigh, Achieve, Rowe, and Lincoln, some relocations. The Rowe High School bleacher replacement is well underway already. The demolition is now 100% complete. The first set of 2 sides of bleachers were delivered today at noon, and we're expecting the other 2 small sides to get here in the next 2 days, and the installation is on schedule as of today.
When you say small sides, that's east and west?
Small sides are north and south. The bigger sides are east and west.
Okay.
But it's all 4. But it's all 4 sides that we're doing.
Awesome.
On a fully turnkey project, including the motors, everything.
Trustee
So
Esparza.
it's the automated ones, or the electrical ones? Or
Yes.
Just on the bigger sections, right? Not on the small sections?
All 4 have them, just like we did at Memorial. It's just the same exact system. We're doing some modifications electrical-wise, but we're doing those in-house. The shut-off panels were installed previously underneath the bleachers, so when they were closed, our electricians couldn't get to them as easy or as fast. We're moving the shut-off panels to the sides now so that we have them accessible at all times. HVAC projects, Escandon office new unit install was completed last week, and Navarro's classrooms 13 and 14 new units were installed for those classroom areas. Electrical projects, they continue to go down, check on the lighting for exterior on campuses, replacing wall packs wherever needed. Hand dryers have been replaced at Milam, Morris, Memorial High School, and Travis Middle Schools, and we continue to do the assessments district-wide. Outlet for cameras that are being installed. We're providing the electrical where needed on the exterior cameras at the buildings or in new locations. And the Fossum Middle School exterior lighting is being worked on as well. On the for the month of September, there was 1,444 work orders submitted. Completed work orders were 1,531 that were carry forward from the previous month.
Any comments or questions for Mr. Trevino? Sir, I have a question in regards to the ag farm. With the action going on at the baseball field, a couple of the ag parents called and wanted to get an update as to where we are with their project.
I have the subdivision permit ready. The engineer submitted it on Friday. I just need to get with Dr. Gonzalez, Dr. Barrera for signatures and submit it to the city so that the process is moving forward.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. No further questions? Thank you, Mr. Trevino. Item 7B3, the report regarding the monthly financial and investment report for August.
Yes, sir. Ms. Garcia will present the monthly financials for August 2017. This item is for information only.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Tonight I have the report for the monthly financial report for the month of August 2017. And we provide a general fund comparison of budget to revenues, expenditures, and encumbrances. And included in this report is also the monthly investment report. The first sheet that you see here is, of course, the comparison of budget to revenues, expenditures, and encumbrances. The first 2 columns identify revenues and expenditures for prior fiscal year. And then column C is the approved and amended budget for 17-18, which would include the revenues of $235.4 million and $241.95 million in expenditures. Now, column D will represent the year-to-date actual expenditures through the month of August 2017, and thus far we have 12.5 million in revenues and 15.46 in expenditures.
Mr. President, thank you. Page 40, is that where you're on right now?
Yes.
Okay. when it talks about revenues over, under expenditures, by being in brackets, that means we're currently operating under column D by about 2,800,000?
What that figure represents is it takes into account the 12 million in revenues received to date and the 15 million in expenditures. So that's the difference of that figure is the 2.89.
And by being in parentheses, it means we're operating by that in the black.
Red.
In the red.
Or we're
Well,
under?
not necessarily in the red. That means that we're utilizing our fund balance for that period. That's reflected there.
So we had to dip into the fund balance to cover by 2.8 million. Is that what you're saying?
In terms of the actual revenues for this fiscal year
Just
received
for that
this
month period only?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And this typically happens at the beginning of the year when, we haven't received all of our payments.
Well, yeah, because when you compare it to the same period last year, which was 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, and then we came out clearly in a good place at the end of last year, so.
Yes. The next report is the monthly investment report, and this one, again, is for August, period ending of August 31st, 2017. On the report, we provide a summary of the interest rate curve and what it's doing for the period. And in addition to that, there is a portfolio summary report that identifies the beginning and ending book values and market values for the district's portfolio. And the beginning book value for the period was 97.5 million and 99 million ending book value. The average yield to maturity for the period was 1.047%. And in terms of our portfolio diversification, the graph shows the different investments that are represented in the portfolio. And most of the district's money is invested in daily liquidity investments. This summary indicates the month ending interest earnings, and for August it was $80,832.79, which brings the fiscal year to date total to $157,724.13.
Where does that interest, what fund does that interest go into?
Well, the portfolio represents various funds, and actually the following reports groups them. There's various reports that list them by fund. For example, the first one that you see on here is our activity funds. So that 1.5 million would generate, the investments tied to that 1.5 million would generate interest rate for that specific fund.
Okay.
And so forth. The general fund, which is the one, general fund is part of the what the board approves, the budget. As you can see that there, it's on the middle of that page.
Pass.
So,
See when it's passed.
if that concludes, if there are not any more questions, that concludes my report.
Any further questions from Ms. Garcia? None being heard. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Trustee Elisela, did you have?
Oh,
Can we hold on a meeting?
Okay. All right, Trustee Elisela.
yes, I wanted to see, make a motion that we reorganize the agenda and move D2 next.
Item 9D2. There is a motion to reorganize the agenda, bringing forth item 9D2, approval of the resolution to commit a certain sum from the general fund unassigned fund balance to a committed fund balance for hail damage projects. Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a second by Trustee Saldivar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it, 7-0. So now we bring forth item 9D2, approval of the resolution to commit a certain sum from general fund unassigned fund balance to a committed fund balance for hail damage projects. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. As per board policy, CE Local Administration has assigned $4.4 million for remaining hail damage projects, which includes $1.14 million replacement for non-hail damage work. The board, by resolution, may establish a committed fund balance for these projects. Ms. Garcia and Dr. Barrera are available to answer questions, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
We have a
Second.
motion by trustee Vela and a second by trustee Saldivar. Any comments, questions? No comments, no questions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 6-1. Rejoining the meeting. Item 7B4, the report regarding the monthly financial and investment report for September 2017. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Ms. Garcia will present the monthly financials for September 2017. This item is for information only. Ms. Garcia.
This report is, of course, the similar format as the one we just discussed, the difference being that this is for the period of September, through September 30th, 2017. And year-to-date actual revenues for this period is $38,725,000, and expenditures are $44,939 million. I'm sorry. Yes. $44,939,818. And for our investment report, let me go over to that summary. On the summary, of course, very similar. Beginning book value, 99 million, and ending book value is 106 million. The average yield to maturity is 1.052%, and we do have interest earnings for the month ending at $82,213.78, which brings the year-to-date total to $239,937.91.
Any questions from Ms. Garcia? None being heard. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Moving on to item 8A, the approval of human resource recommendations for school year 2017-2018. Dr. Gonzalez.
Human Resources is submitting a list of recommendations under separate cover for discussion during closed session, and we are requesting action on this item.
What say you, board?
So moved.
I have a motion by trustee Vela and a second by trustee Alvarado. Any comments, questions? None being heard. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0. Item 8B, Human Resource Employee Resignation for school year 2017-2018. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Human Resources is submitting a list of resignations for the 2017-2018 school year under separate cover for discussion during closed session. This item is for information only. No action is required.
Thank you, sir. Item 8C, pending and/or potential litigation. Mr. Crane.
No action required at this time.
No action required at this time. Item 8D, possible real estate acquisition. Mr. Crane.
And also no action is required.
Shortest part of the meeting right there. Item 9A, instructional service items. Instructional leadership, approval for request for proposal number 2017-082, professional development services. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The district solicited proposals to obtain professional development services for staff on an as-needed basis, and we are requesting action on this item.
So moved.
I have a motion by trustee Suarez,
Second.
second by trustee Vela. Any questions or comments? None being heard. All in favor of the approval of request for proposal number 2017-082, professional development services, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0. Item 9B1, approval of MISD board policy, DEC local, compensation and benefit leaves and absences. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The district seeks the revision of DEC local policy to allow all employees to accumulate local leave equally, and we are requesting action on this item.
What say you, board?
So moved.
I have a motion of approval by trustee Suarez,
Second.
second by trustee Vela. Any comments or questions? None being heard, we'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0. Item 9C1, approval of bid number 2017-072, automotive repair parts, tires, and related services. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The district purchases automotive repair parts, tires, and related products to provide repair and maintenance services to all district vehicles, including school buses, and we are requesting action on this item.
Yeah, I have a motion by trustee Suarez,
Second.
second by trustee Aliceta. Any comments or questions? No comments and questions to be heard, so we'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0. Item 9C2 was already approved. We'll move to item 9C3, consideration and possible approval of a color change to the McAllen Independent School District A+ emblem from red to gold. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. A change in mascot insignia or emblem requires board approval. And this evening, we bring our own A+ emblem because of a change in the color. And Dr. Barrera will explain more, and we are requesting action on this item. Dr. Barrera?
Yes, sir. This is off of policy FM local, and it requires that the board approve individual campuses' nicknames, the insignia or emblem, as well as any official school colors, and that's what we have here. And as we were working up to look into this, one of the first steps is that we do get this approved by our school board. And what it calls for is, I have here, this is our certificate, our trademark certificate that we bought, that we did some time ago, and that, as you can see there, is the red A+. And about a year ago or so, or two years ago, we opted to change that to a gold color. So that being the case, to fix that, we're going to have to go back and get an amendment. It's not clear at this point whether it requires an amendment or a full redo of the entire trademark, but our first step is to get it approved by the Board of Trustees, and so that's what we're bringing it here for consideration today.
I move the Board of Trustees approve the color change in the McAllen Independent School District A+ emblem from red to gold.
We have a motion by Trustee Saldivar.
Second.
Second by Trustee Vela. Any comments or questions?
What do we have at the stadium? I never really noticed.
Gold.
Gold.
It's gold. We have the gold here, the red over here.
All right, any further comments or questions? With none being heard, we'll move to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving to item 9D1, approval of revision of previous board agenda approval of bid number 2014-064. Trophies, T-shirts, awards, and incentives catalog bid item submitted by Lorena Garcia. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. The district utilizes this bid to purchase trophies, T-shirts, awards, and incentives for staff and students on an as-needed basis, and we are requesting action on this item.
What say you, board?
So moved.
I have a motion by Debbie Crane Aliceta and a second by Trustee Marco Suarez. Any comments or questions? None being heard, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it 7-0. Item 9E, the superintendent's item. Dr. Gonzalez.
Yes, sir. Every year, our band students at Rowe Memorial and Mac High compete at the annual Pigskin Jubilee Band Competition, and each band spends several months preparing their routine. And this year's event was held at our own McAllen Veterans Memorial Stadium this past Saturday. And I'm proud to report that every single one of our high school marching bands received a Division I rating. Do want to thank all of the sponsors, all of the directors, all our staff, our students especially, and parents. It was a great performance. I know many of you were out enjoying the competition. It was a great night, so we're very, very excited about our music program, and we'd like to share a short video with you all.
Congratulations, Dr. Gonzalez, and to Mr. Egger and our three band directors. I think it was an incredible night. Mac High obviously was the first of our schools to go. Then I believe it was Memorial and Rowe. I didn't know if I was watching the Memorial Band or the Memorial Band director with the excitement and encouragement that he brought to the field. So a great night by all three of our schools, and all the schools there. I believe each and every school left Pigskin with a Division I rating. So congratulations to them all. Item 9F1, approval. Yep. Item 9F1, the approval of Board of Education meeting minutes.
Mr. President, I do have some questions regarding the minutes for item F1B, regular board meeting, September 26, 2017, 5 p.m. It lists all 7 board members present, but as we get to page 227 on the agenda items, specifically 8C, 8D, and 9F, the votes drop off, which would indicate board members weren't present. They may have left the room, and that's all right, but we have to note in the minutes that they have left the room and are not participating. Or if they aren't present, then they either voted for, against, or abstained. And so I asked earlier our board secretary, not Mrs.
Not me.
Aliceda, but Natalie, if she would look into it, looking at the video, as to when the board members came and left.
Okay, Natalie, do we have a?
So we'll wait.
So, I would move then to approve the minutes with the exception of F1B at this time.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the item 9F1A and 9F1C without taking 9F1B into consideration. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second by trustee Debbie Crane Aliceta. Again, the motion is to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for items 9F1A, the special board meeting of September 26, 2017, that was held at 4 p.m., and item 9F1C, the special board meeting September 26 at 6:15. That was our public comments. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it, 7-0. Our schedule of future meetings: November the 6th, 2017, special board meeting at 5:30 here in the boardroom administration building. Our regularly scheduled board meeting November the 13th at 5 p.m. and our special comment section at 6:15 on November the 13th. The Board of Trustees may reconvene in closed session for further discussion regarding the agenda items listed. There is none, so we will reconvene in open session. And if I can get a motion to adjourn this meeting. I have a motion of adjournment by Mr. Suarez and a second by Mr. Saldivar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The ayes carry it, 7-0. So at 7:46, this meeting is adjourned.